Oh, hey there guys, and welcome to the Orion Bowl Week 2. What a Week 1 it was. Some crazy stuff going on. For a start, the Toilet Bowl team, the old Burt Ravens, managed to get themselves a win from the team with no Namath. I don't think the team with no Namath have actually beaten the Burt Ravens since, I want to say, maybe 2019. It might go as far back as that. Historically speaking, the team with no Namath do tend to struggle against the Burt Ravens Week 1 especially. But in any event, it was a pretty fun Week 1, to be fair. So let's have a look at the recap. So we had Burt Ravens. We actually got the second highest score in the league last week, which was 111.88, which was commendable. And at the end of the day, we took the lead early and we just kept pressing that advantage. No Namath, don't get me wrong, they put up a fight. I do think No Namath are going to do some big things this year, because Waller, wow, did he have me sweating a little bit. Not too much, because Pat Mahomes had already done the work. You see, Pat Mahomes, he'd already put in a shift. He'd already put in the old shift, because he put up like 30 odd points, which is pretty good. And do you know what makes it even sweeter that Pat Mahomes was so good, and that was the reason really that I won? It's because I kind of stole that draft pick from the team with no Namath. I knew that they were going to look to draft him, and I picked them up one pick before them, because they said, I think I might get Pat Mahomes next. It's like, you realise that I have the pick before you though, right? So why would you tell me that? So, well, you won't pick him up. It's like, well, I will. And I did. And now it's paying dividends. Even a couple of years later. Dividends all over the place. But yeah, so good game team with no Namath. It was a very close game. It was very good. But Rob Gronkowski back in rare form. Loving that. 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. If he can keep that up, the old Burt Ravens might be able to go from worst to first. That's the idea. That is the plan anyway. Legion of Hope, they were the top scorers this week. So congratulations to the top scorers, Legion of Hope. And they were going up against Baby Got First Pick. And the Legion, they took the lead for 4:25 p.m. Sunday, and they just never let up. And considering they played Aaron Rodgers, who got 1.32, it is pretty incredible that they were still the highest. They not only won, but they set the highest score of the week. That is a worry for all other managers in this league, including myself. Like, Legion played one of the worst quarterbacks last week and still managed to get the top score. Crazy. Joe Mixon really put in a shift, his power player of the week. Joe Mixon, congratulations to you, Joe. Dennis Trey Gorillas get an absolute gift from the Harlots, who were the worst scoring team last week. So, you should feel very, very sad about that. Sorry, Harlots. Maybe the move to San Diego has caused some kind of upset in the team. Maybe you're still settling into the new digs, but we'll put it down to being that first week being in San Diego. 67 points is, I know that we're not like the best league in the world, but 67 points is not going to cut it around here. It ain't. It's not going to cut it. Basically, asking what happened to the Harlots last week, the Green Bay Packers happened to Harlots. Do you know what I mean? When you play Adams, Tonyan, and the Packers D, and between all three of them, they net 2.40, that's going to give you nothing but problems. The Gorillas got away with one here. And you know what? They only put up 88.38 themselves, so don't... Yeah, like I said, a win is a win, but that's not there's still cause for concern there. But either way, the power player for the Gorillas, I thought Alvin Kamara really came through, as he should have done, and he did what he needed and helped you get that win. And then we had the Indianapolis Colts against the reigning, defending Orion Bowl champions, the coach's sons. Have been defeated already. It's always good to get that first loss out of the way, though, isn't it? I see what you're doing there. It's all part of the master plan, isn't it? Get that first loss out of the way nice and early, and then the pressure isn't there anymore, and you can just focus on putting together a good season. I'll be honest, it was such a close game. I mean, what was it? There was less than a point in it. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts, they edged it out. This one was, I think, really the big difference maker here was Kyler Murray coming through in a big way for the Indianapolis Colts. That is absolutely crazy. 33.56. What a brilliant night for that quarterback. And then, yeah, between him and Tyreek Hill, that's basically all the Colts needed to get the job done. So, moving on to week 2. We have got the battle of first and second. Baltimore Ravens taking on the Legion of, I think they're the Legion of Hope now, I think. They changed their name so often, I just call them Legion these days. But either way, it's a disappointing start from Baltimore. We put that number 1 rated defense in Washington to the test, and they struggled against the Giants, putting up just 3 points, which is not ideal, but it's not minus points, so you know what, there's still a lot of football to play. Now, the key matchups here, the ones that I like, you've got Metcalf playing at home versus the Titans for the Seahawks. I think that's a very favourable matchup, actually. And then we've got the new addition. Mitchell will be the number 1 running back in the depth chart for the 49ers this week, as Mostert has gone out for surgery. So I picked him up off the waiver wire, a little sneaky addition, because Fournette was a little bit disappointing, but I've decided not to be too stubborn. If I need to replace people, they'll go and be replaced. So, picks. I don't know. Problem is, the Legion have Cooper Kupp, Landry. Landry's got a good matchup this week as well. You've got Dalvin Cook, who's always just a problem. Legion are going to be very tough to beat. So I'm going to say that Legion are probably going, the favourites are going to come in here. They're the favourites for a reason. I think they're going to come in. I'm going to pick the Legion to win that one, and they're going to stay on top. So, team with no Namath versus the Dallas Trey Gorillas. Now, it's a very disappointing Thursday night for both parties. Gibson, only 7.30. That's not the end of the world. And Thomas, 4.50. There's a lot to play for. I like Carson's matchup this week. Again, it's that Seahawks matchup against the Titans. The Seahawks playing at home are generally very good, and the Titans didn't look brilliant in terms of stopping people from scoring last week. Godwin's got an excellent matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, and also he's playing Wilson as quarterback. So purely because of those favourable matchups, I am taking the team with no Namath to bounce back from that first week jitters and get themselves into the win column. Then we've got Baby Got first pick taking on the reigning champions, the coach's sons. Now, the Giants D was a very bad move for the reigning champs. It seems like it's going from bad to worse. You don't want to, the reigning champs should not be dropping the first 2 games, but it's far from going in that direction, let's be fair. Because when you've got Kelsey, Jackson and McCaffrey, you have got to favour the champs to get back to winning ways here. And that is going to be my pick. Due to those players, it's going to be the reigning champs, the coach's sons, will get the job done next week. And then we have got the Harlots versus the Colts. After a very disappointing week 1 due to Packers problems, the tight end and the defense have been switched over. They've changed their personnel round, and they're making the right moves to try and get the win here. And the Patriots defense, picking up the Patriots defense against the Jets, is an absolute genius move. The real problem here, though, is that you're playing against the Indianapolis Colts, and as you can see on here, when you've got Derrick Henry, Kyler Murray and Tyreek Hill, I just don't see how you can pick against the Colts here. And provided Henry gets back to form, they're going to be a real problem all year. I am taking the Colts in that one. But I am going to... it's almost ready to go and watch the games now. I'm very late in getting this video out. I do apologise. I just lost track of time. So, yeah, I'll try and get the video done Saturday next week. But either way, best of luck in all your matchups, except for Legion. I hope you do terrible so that I can get a win.